What's going on? Big A, the Manky Geek, coming at you with another video. It's Sunday. I think this will be uploaded on a Sunday. And yeah, I mean, Ghostbusters 3, as we found out the other week, is a thing that's happening, which a lot of people are excited about because we think it's a continuation of the original canon. I believe it probably will be, because I can't see as to why Sony would once again not do what most people would want from that franchise. And you know, a certain cast member, Leslie Jones, was not happy about the fact that they were doing a new Ghostbusters film or another Ghostbusters film, but not including the rebooted cast. So they're not getting a sequel. In other words, that film did make a $70 million loss, Ghostbusters 2016. I think that's the figure that's being like put around on the internet. And yeah, Leslie Jones responded to the news of the new Ghostbusters, and she wasn't happy. And then we've had the director of Ghostbusters 2016, Paul Feig, weigh in and say, an absolute honest-to-God, never-ending supply of bullshit and hate from these trolls. Leslie spoke her truth and I support her. I'm very open to Jason's new version of Ghostbusters, but I'm also sad that our 2016 team may not get to bust again. We all are. We're forever proud of our movie. You know what? Fair enough if you feel like you did a good job and you feel like you deserved another shot. And obviously, yeah, support your cast members and that. But it might have been wiser not to actually say anything at all, because kind of what she said was kind of pointing fingers at the crew who are doing the new one. So it's like, well, why get angry? The 2016 version will always be there. It's not going anywhere. So if you want to show people that or introduce it to people or have people watch that one because it's your favorite version of it, it will always be there. You know what I mean? It's not going anywhere, like the originals weren't going anywhere when this reboot was done. So this is the same thing, so I don't know as to why you'd get so angry. I don't agree with any of like the trolling comments that were aimed at the film or at any of the cast in the film at all. I did feel like they focused on the trolling comments a bit too much during the promotion of the movie. I was willing to see the movie, but then when all they were going on about is the trolling, I just tapped out. I was like, nah, I can't bother seeing this anymore. I was going to pay to go and see it, see what it ended up looking like, but I didn't like the promotional material that I saw. I didn't like any of the trailers or anything like that. And yeah, just the fact that they're focusing on the trolling thing to sell the movie, that's how it appeared to me, and I decided not to go and see it. So my criticisms of the film are all to do with the promotional material. Like what I saw in the trailers, I didn't particularly like that much. What I saw during like the promotional tour of the film and like the various talk shows and all that, I didn't like that much. Sell the film, don't sell kind of the kind of online crap that goes on with it. Sell the actual movie, and I felt like they didn't actually sell the movie to me. So that's why I didn't see it. I saw the first 5 minutes one time, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to enjoy this at all. I'd rather not see it, which is a fine opinion to have, because I'm literally basing my decision on what I've seen, and that's completely okay. Like I said, I don't agree with trolling comments, so yeah, speak out against those. But them doing a new one is nothing to do with the trolling, so that's just my opinion on what he said. But then, obviously, everyone had their own responses as well to what he said, so I'll go through those as well. Oh my word, seriously, Paul, I love your movies. I was so excited for your take on Ghostbusters, and the choice of cast was awesome, but it just didn't work. Just admit you made a poor movie. You win some, you lose some. Not everything you do in life works. We all make mistakes. That is actually quite a true comment, because I don't think anyone sets out to make a bad movie. I think that just kind of happens by accident. Some things weren't right. You thought some things were the right ideas. You wanted to do things a certain way, and it just turned out that those things weren't the right ingredients for the mix. They weren't the right things to go into the ingredients for the pie, you know what I mean? So it just didn't work out well. You grin and bear it, you get through it, and then you move on. You don't kind of like keep beating a dead horse and constantly insist that what he did was great, but that's just the way things go. Let's get one thing right. Jason is not creating a new version of Ghostbusters. You did. And it was a joke to even say it was a Ghostbusters movie. Jason is continuing the story from the classic 80s movie we all love. You did not make the 80s classic, nor had any part of it. Again, I would say that comment is pretty fair. That doesn't seem like a troll comment to me. That appears to be the comment of someone who's seen the originals, seen a new one, seen all this stuff go on, and kind of put in their kind of like 2 cents about the idea. I mean, we don't know for certain as to what Jason Reitman is doing with the Ghostbusters name. I'm not even sure if it has been confirmed that it is really actually a Ghostbusters 3. Did it say Ghostbusters 3 in that? No, in the trailer it just said summer 2020, didn't it? It didn't actually say what the film was called, but I think we're all just assuming and calling it Ghostbusters 3, and I think that's the right assumption to make. But yeah, it's got sod all to do with the all-female lead cast. Dude, you took the Ghostbusters franchise and made it a police academy, and not one of the good ones, probably on par with the last one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the last Police Academy movie the one where they go to Russia? I think Ron Perlman's in that movie, I'm pretty certain of it. But again, it's like, you put out kind of like a certain message out there, and these are the responses. Again, I wouldn't call these troll responses. These seem completely like valid and come from a place of like people who have kind of assessed. I mean, there obviously were some tweets supporting and saying how great the 2016 version of Ghostbusters was. All right, that's fine, that's your opinion, you're totally entitled to it. But I would assume that these people are kind of like more critically minded. I'm not saying that they're better anyway, but they seem to like be taking everything on board and making their decision based on like what they've seen. You tried to take a beloved set of movies from the 80s, reboot it and politicize it. The fans didn't like it. All we wanted was Ghostbusters. And you have us, I think they meant, and you have given us a terrible movie. It's fine to stand by your work, but don't get angry that people didn't like it. I think there was quite a divide between the critics and the audience, which I see a lot recently. It's so weird, like you'll get a movie that'll have a certain rating on like Rotten Tomatoes, for example, and the audience and critics like ratings will be totally different. Like I saw Split earlier in the it's not even called Split, I keep doing that. It's called Glass, right? So that's part of the Unbreakable trilogy. So you got Unbreakable, Split, you got Glass. I saw Glass earlier in the week. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I liked what they did with it. It was cool. It was a good movie. It was just on par with the other two as well. And it was a nice kind of rounding off of the trilogy. Everything made sense. It was satisfying to me. I found it very satisfying. But then the critic scores and the audience scores are totally different. Like, I don't know what the critics were expecting from it. And Split is really interestingly filmed well. The way they do all the action scenes is in a really interesting way also. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the movie. But yeah, critics and audience members are like, they're not kind of like wanting the same things. So I think really, to be honest, it's kind of better that people kind of ignore critics, because I think critics are really just writing for themselves, and they're not a representation of us. So maybe studios shouldn't actually try and pander to critics as much as they normally do, because it's actually the audience that makes up their own mind. It's the audience who can like tell you what they want. I mean, there's films that even I don't like, for example, Venom. But if they want to make more Venom, they can go ahead and make more Venom, because I won't go and see it, but there's other people that will gladly will, and I'm fine with that. So for me, the continuation of Ghostbusters died with Harold Ramis. I wish it would just be left with that. Now, you know what? I kind of agree with this comment, because they had so many chances to do a proper Ghostbusters 3 when Harold Ramis was alive. I don't know why there's all of a sudden like interest after his death. I feel like they kind of screwed him over, and because it was him and Dan Aykroyd that wrote the original two. It's like, why didn't you just give them a chance to do it? why? It would have been the dream. I mean, even if Bill Murray wasn't in that one, at least we would have had 3 of them. We don't know if Bill Murray is going to ever return to Ghostbusters. I would put my money on like saying no, he's not ever going to return. So don't put your hopes on that. But yeah, I do kind of feel a little bit like they should have done this a long time ago. I'm still glad it's happening. I'm still glad they're doing it. I don't know what's going to come of it. But yeah, I still feel like it should have happened a long time ago. I would have preferred it to happen back in the day. But if it happens now, great. But yeah, I will miss obviously Harold Ramis being in there. They can still do a Passing of the Torch sequel, which is what I'd want from Ghostbusters. I just hope they get the humor right, because the humor is very important to me. Because it's got a lot of stuff. It's got to be smart, verbal humor. It's not about slapsticky kind of Three Stooges kind of stuff. That's not Ghostbusters to me at all. You know what, I was gonna read more, but I think I've given you the gist, which is that Paul Feig supported a member of his cast, which is great, but he's kind of still insistent on the trolls thing. I don't agree with any of the hate that came to Leslie Jones's way. I thought that kind of stuff was disgusting. But trolls, really, in the grand scheme of things, because the internet, you'll have like this many trolls, but it will seem like there's this many. And that's because the internet's worldwide and we're on the internet. Whereas trolls are that. And the people who aren't saying negative things are normally this, or actually the people who are giving constructive criticism can even be that. But this is bigger than that. So why focus on that when you can focus on this, which is people being critical within boundaries, and that, which is people who aren't like being critical and saying that they love that thing. That's what I don't understand about the internet. Everyone's always willing to focus on trolls, and trolls are a small part of the internet. Don't focus on that. Focus on people talking smart stuff who are critical, and the people who love your shit. It's just that simple. But anyway, let me know as to what you thought of this video in the comments. Obviously, that's what the comment section is for. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification as well, because otherwise YouTube aren't going to put my video in your subscription box or notifier, which is to why probably there's loads of you that think that I'm not making a video anymore. I've contacted YouTube about it, but they're not that helpful, because that's YouTube. But anyway, I'll catch you in the next one.